I'm in person today with Paolo from Melrose Pizza
Hi, guys.
on people, their passion and purpose. So excited. This is going to be really fun. So here we go. Thank you for having me at your restaurant.
So glad to have you here this morning.
I love it here. Just to give you a little bit of a history, I know Paolo for many years from his past business on Sherbrooke Street. I mean, that's not when you started your restaurant business.
35 years.
Exactly. But I always love coming to your restaurants because I was thinking about it this morning and it's like, I always feel like I'm coming home.
Well,
And I just wanted to let you know that. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way.
that's the purpose of, in my opinion, being a restaurateur. I think the most important thing is to make your guests feel like they're at home. And it's not an easy task to do because, they're going out. My job is to create an environment that people come and they feel like they're somewhere else besides being home, but they feel like they're in a comfort zone, at home, taken care of. We know them by their name. We call them by their name.
Yes.
We know the little habits. We know what they like and what they don't
Yes.
like. And we get to know their families after. So it's wonderful. It's just a chain of very positive and happy moments.
The light is really in your glasses there. Okay.
Take them out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
I
So
don't see anything, but
yeah, you sure?
I could-
Because I could
I
try to
could
move
talk.
that.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Okay. So when did that start in your philosophy to have that in your restaurants? Like, where did that come from?
Well, I came from a big family of 13 siblings, so we kind of got used to, cater to ourselves and be there for, the family and making sure everybody's taken care of. My parents gave me those morals of, family values, taking care of your people, making sure your neighbors are, they're doing well, making sure the neighborhood is doing well. And that became part of my personality.
Yeah.
But I got into this business
Tell me.
purely by accident
Yeah.
because I wasn't, I never thought about doing this business. I was very much passionate about something else. It was mostly martial arts, and my life was dedicated to do that. And I had plans, and I was planning to move to Japan in '97, train with masters, and got into an accident. Training accident, my career was over. So meanwhile, I was working in the restaurant business, and I was working at this coolest place in Montreal at the time called Cafeteria. It was amazing, and that's where I got really the passion and the love, the excitement to do this business.
Wow.
From that moment on, I grew up. I grew in the business, and I opened up my first place. Was called Café Miliers at the Centris Complex. At the time, it was the biggest project in Canada. I was just a 31, 32-year-old kid. I didn't know where I was going, and I just met this incredible man that was my partner at the time, Daniel Langlois, who created this incredible place for visual art, uh, technology, you name it. It was the place to be at the time. So for me, it was an incredible experience, and that's where my passion to work with people and to be in the industry was developed.
Right.
And of course, my first big challenge there was because this place was so modern and high tech and designed. It was the most advanced in technology cinema complex on the planet. And Café Miliers was at the time for me, it still is one of the most spectacular places that we ever seen. So it was built with stainless glass and granite. And my job, I had to bring in some life into this place. And this is where I started using my talent of warming up the place with humans, with human energy,
Yes.
which is important.
Yes.
And that's what I've been doing all my life. So every single place that I built in the last 30 years, it's my priority was always it had to feel like this is my lifestyle, this is how I live, this is what I like to live in. And I want people just to come in. It's like coming over my place and just chill out, relax, and let me take care of you. And I want you to feel good about the environment you are. So for me, it was really important. And I always surrounded myself with people that have that energy. So my employees have been always very colorful, very different personalities. That's important too, because we cater to multiple types of personalities. So that's where my passion came from. And I'm still there today, even though It's not an easy industry because it takes a toll on their personal life, a toll, at every single level. But you got to stay focused. You got to stay rational. Really important because there's times they got to take decisions. It's not always fun decisions, and mostly you got to leave your ego aside because often when we take decisions with our egos, it's always the worst decisions we take. So the challenge is to leave the ego aside and say, okay, this is all about what do we do? Where do we go?
So when you say that, well, there's a couple of things here, but when you say that, you have to make sacrifices, right? And you say that you have to make decisions and things like that. And you say that sometimes it's really hard. So there's a couple of questions I have. Number one, when you say that when you say that it's really tough sometimes, like what really gives you that energy to keep going, even though sometimes you feel like throwing in the towel, right?
Well, it's all about the people you surround yourself. My case was my family, wife and my kids.
Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah,
It wasn't always easy.
yeah. And it's okay. Some people are going to see the video and some people are just going to hear us talking. So it depends on where it is.
But
Yeah.
look, there's a challenge because for restaurateurs, we're not very often at home. So being an entrepreneur, it's one thing. Being an entrepreneur of a restaurant, it's a different level. And I'm not taking anything away from other entrepreneurs who do a fantastic job. And I'm sure they do a lot of sacrifices. The biggest sacrifice we got to do when we're in this industry, it's our family, the people that we're closest to. We're not often there for special events of family. We're not there for often nights. And it takes a toll, with time. You see I want to say cracks. You see and I'm not saying where did you go wrong. It's where did you, and fail is not a good word, but what you should have done and you learn. And I'm learning every day. I still learn every day. But of course, I was able to pull through very difficult moments and difficult decisions because of my family, because I had the core of support and I knew no matter how bad things could get, I knew I had a home to come back to. And for me, that was really important. And that's why I built my businesses always with family values. It's all about family. It's all about taking care of people. I see things sometimes. I have people coming in the restaurant, all the restaurants I had, and people are having a bad day. Some of them got a bad news, some of them. And I always tell my staff, it's important. It does happen sometimes. People could be rude, but you got to question yourself. Maybe they're not having such a good day today. Maybe he didn't got the best news that he should have got. And I'm very sensitive with that. And I could often feel people that way. And I'm often going to send them just a meal, send them a glass of wine, just out of the blue,
Yeah.
just to say, you're not alone and we got you and it's all good. Came here, a glass of wine. I'm more than happy. I offer you a nice glass of wine. Leaving, you're happy. And what's important for me, yeah, it's to build a good business, but it's important when people leave the establishment. I want to see them happy. I want them to tell them, I had such a great night last night at your place. I laughed with so and so, and I saw so and so, and you told me a joke, and I remember the story you told me. And it's all about creating those moments. That's what makes this industry so special.
No, that's what makes you so special.
Well, I mean, for people
For
that
you, yes.
people that do this
Yes.
industry the way I do it, it is because it's all about building memories.
Yeah.
You could be this most successful restaurateur. What people are going to remember is the person you were. I mean, they're going to remember your food. They're going to remember, your beautiful chair and your lamp or whatsoever. But it's mostly the personality, the character of the person. And that, I think, doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. And the thing is that,
Sorry about that.
it all comes from your heart. So this podcast is not necessarily about me, but I have to tell you that I really relate to a lot of things you're saying. I was supposed to do something else in my life. I got into a car accident. I ended up working in my family business with my mother, and I ended up feeling so passionate and driven by the fact that my mom always took such good care of us because she was a single mom and I just wanted to give back and take care of her.
Incredible.
So
Well,
that's what kept me going all those years of being in that intense at 7 days a week, not at nights, but 7 days a week, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, Saturdays and Sundays. And I understand the sacrifice because you don't lose friendships, but they're different.
course.
You don't go to certain events. You're exhausted all the time. You're stressed all the time. So, but it's only that drive, that passion for your family to, that keeps you to be able to come to work and say, we're going to do this another day.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And it's all about, you need to have the passion. If you don't have the passion for this or for anything, regardless of the industry or whatever you do, at the end of the day, it's all about, you need that fire in you to keep on growing, to keep on going.
Yeah.
And like you just said it so well before, a lot of times I felt like just throwing in the towel. And then what?
Yeah.
And I'm not a quitter. So I said, you know what? Let's do it one more day.
Yeah.
And that's how I see him. Let's do it one more day.
Right.
The day after, oh, it just got a bit better. Let's do it for another day.
Yeah.
Because of course, I'm just feeling like anybody else. I had the thoughts of like, okay, this is it. Can't do this anymore. But
Yeah.
I'm still here after 35 years. And
Yeah,
I
still
love what I
going.
do. And,
Yeah.
and it's, but again, it helps when you got the support.
That's what I was gonna say again, is that you have the support. Like I always had, my husband to come home to, and you have your family to come home
Exactly.
to. And so without them, your life has less meaning, or it's different. And they give you the energy and the strength to move on. And I think we're lucky because you have this passion of having these restaurants and having, creating experiences for people and for yourself, because you love the human touch, you love the human communication, but at the same time, you have a family that understands. And so
Exactly.
in a way, like you're really lucky because you can have your passion and get all that energy out, and then you come home to their support. So
Exactly. It's the family and the people surround the family.
right.
I got my brothers, my siblings, and I, even though I don't see them too often because we all have different lives, I got incredible in-laws that they understand that they're so when I'm not there, they could support my wife and the kids.
Right.
So they're always there to help us out. So it's all, it takes, like they say, it takes a village
Yeah.
to raise a child.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I think we're always, for all our lives, we're a child because we do need to be surrounded, to be secured, even though it's chaos at work.
Yes.
Things are not going well. Financially, it's really tough. When you're at home, you have that family support, that love, that changes everything. It just gives you the courage to get up in the morning. Let's go put up the gloves. Let's get back into the ring.
Got to get a couple
I got
snaps
snaps.
in there. I couldn't wait to get your snaps in there.
That's one of my trademarks.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the only one.
So, speaking of your family, there was one question I wanted to ask you. What is your favorite thing to do with your wife and your kids when you're together as a family? What brings you the most joy?
Well, okay. Well, it's not an easy one.
It's not easy.
Not easy because we're so busy.
Yes.
So we go by the moment.
Yeah.
But my moments, my most preferable moments is when I'm alone with my two kids and my wife. Just like sometimes you don't have to do anything,
There you go.
but just being together and knowing that, my son is in his room or whatever he's playing, or he's at the basketball court. My daughter's doing something downstairs with her friend on the yard in the back. And I'm just with my wife, maybe just having a coffee or chatting. These are moments for me that are incredible because at the end of the day, it's not what you're doing, but mostly the time that you're spending with that person, with your family. You feel there's a good energy. You feel like I look at them, I don't have to talk much. I just look at them. I'm so proud of how things are turning out to be for my family. So much, very proud of the husband of his wife. Wife, she's my rock, and she's done a lot. She's like so. Yeah, simple moments for me
Yes.
are the best.
Yes.
We don't. There's
agree.
no need to do all this to feel like, oh, we did something.
Yeah.
Sometimes not doing anything and just not even talking, it's already a lot. Just feeling like, okay, we're there. We're all good. So yes, for me, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, once in a while, we'll like, well, no, we rent the chalet. But yes, spending time, quality time for me, not doing anything, it doesn't matter as long as I'm with my people that I love.
Nice. And like at work, after all these years, do you have like one special moment or a couple of special moments that you want to share that are always deep in your heart that really touched you? You know?
Well, there's a few things that touch me because being in this industry as well, there's great things about it, and there's other things about it, and it's nothing negative. But I've seen with the years that I've been spending in this industry, and I've attached myself to a lot of people. You know, you see people, and then one day you don't see them anymore because you found out they passed away. You have relationship with these people, you know their habits. It's difficult to go through that. I have to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, these are people that I cater to twice, 3 times a week, different restaurants I had, and you know their life. You met their family. You get kind of attached to them. So that's not easy. That's really, but at the same time, for me, it's a privilege to have met these people. I felt very privileged meeting a lot of wonderful people through my career in this industry, that it's amazing because it's not always about the money. Huh? It's about moments that you live. It's about the moments you create. And for me, it's that. But going back to your question.
Yes, it's okay. Which you're still answering it, don't worry. But like one or two special, maybe people that you've met and what they gave, what they added to your life, or maybe a really special moment that you have never forgotten all these years,
Well, one of them, and it's funny, and I'm so glad you're telling me this. One of the reasons why I love this industry and what gave me it didn't provoke me to get into it. I got into it because kind of I had no choice. But there's this one of my mentors who's Jaime from Beauties.
Oh.
So he's one of my mentors, by the way. I've been going to Beauties since the age of 14. And I have nothing but incredible things to say about this man. And I've always had the utmost respect. And I have to say that often with staff meeting, it would happen in the past, I would always mention Beauties, how they operate, the importance of being close to your clients, to be warm. And that was the reason why Beauties, it is what it is today after so many years, is because they had someone called Jaime who created an environment with so much love, so much warmth. And I always felt very welcome. And that's how we connected, me and Jaime. So you'd make sure I'd come in, he'd see me in the lineup, and he'd say, if I was you, I would wait a few minutes because apparently the breakfast here is very good. So it was his way of telling me, I'm going to take care of you. Just give me a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then he would always sit me at the bar because he had a seat at the bar at the end of the bar with a coffee mug.
Now Larry sits there.
Yeah, and I'd be sitting right next to him and we'd be talking. And I got into the industry back then, in 1999. So, I would vent a bit with Jaime because I tell him, this is concerns. And he always told me, kid, you always got to work hard this business. And he used to always tell me, now we need 10 days in a week to make money.
Right.
Because the first 7 is to pay everybody, and the other 3, at least hopefully you make a bit of money, but there's only 7 days. I got it. I knew what he was telling me. You got to work very hard. And he was one of mine. I have 3 mentors, and he's one of them. And for me, Jaime has a very special place in my heart, very special place in my memories. I always have just nothing but fun memories. I love the family.
Yes.
I'm very much close with the family in a way. I go as much as I can. They come and support me. I love them all. Yeah. But that's one of the reasons why I got the passion for this industry. And I kind of run it the way I'd see how Jaime would run it. Wow. I've seen it. I was witness, and it was all about. And it's it's not complicated. It's all about smiling, acknowledge people that they're there, see them, and just be kind, kind. And I think if I could sum up Jaime, it's kindness, and with kindness, so much comes out of it.
I'm relating to so much that you're saying, Beauties is another like icon iconic place in our city, and Larry and now Alana and the whole
Exactly,
family
yeah.
are keeping it
By the
going.
way, they're doing a
so,
fantastic
right?
job. I love them. I love the
Yes.
sisters.
Julie,
Julie,
and
everybody's doing such a fantastic job.
yeah,
They're, I think, the reason why, again, I say the place is so wonderful, and I love going there. And every time I go there, I told Alana already, I always sit down and then I always look at my right, and I still picture behind me, halfway in the stool like this, sideways, always ready because he's checking the door.
yeah,
And it's just wonderful. And we're so blessed. I was very privileged to have met him and to have be able to call him a mentor and him calling me hopefully a friend. And for me, that's very special. There's no price to that. I would never change anything for that.
yeah.
I mean, that moment, those years that I've spent getting to know Jaime were incredible years for me.
Yeah. Wow.
As a young boy.
Yeah. It's so important, right? Like,
of course, it's
yeah,
a mentor.
we all have to have mentors in our life,
exactly.
you know, like can't do it alone. We got to
No.
feed off of each other
Exactly.
and help each other. Yeah, amazing. And so now we're here. Now we're at Melrose after all these years. And first of all, what's your favorite pizza here? Melrose is a pizza place, by
Yeah.
the way. What's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza,
Yeah.
it's funny, because I tried them all.
Yeah.
And that's all what I eat. I eat 365 pizzas a year, by the way,
Yeah.
because I have one every day, every day. My favorite pizza still comes down to the margarita,
Okay.
because I add stuff to it.
Right.
I add black olives with red onions, but at the end of the day, when I'm really hungry, I'll have a margarita. And when I'm not well, because you know this business makes you crazy.
Yes.
It's roller coaster. You're like one day you're high, next day, okay, this is the end. But that's what it is.
And you also have a very big personality. So everything that you experience,
Exactly.
even more.
Exactly. Well, I'm very transparent.
Because you're amplified.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
very dynamic.
So what I do, I exactly. So I go crazy. I add stuff to my pizza. I add meat. I add this and that.
Okay.
And my cooks are going, "You sure, boss?" With me. Yeah. So, but my favorite pizza comes down to the margarita.
Yeah.
Yeah. The classic.
Yeah.
Simple. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's nice. And back to mentoring, like what do you find? I mean, there's always things that you think that you want to do by mentoring people and want to share with people. And then there's the reality of who's there for you to mentor or, you know, pass it down to, and what they're actually think they're taking in, because times change, right? Like when you were
Right.
talking to Jaime, it was this time. Now it's this time. So where do you find yourself wanting to teach people? And then my other question to that would be, what are you finding that people are wanting from you, or are they wanting anything from you? You know, what's the mood, you know? So what do you want to tell people?
Well, first of all, I hired a lot of kids from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So for me, it's important. I always tell my managers the same thing, and this is what I practice in every single business that I own. When a young man or a young girl comes for the first time, their first job, for me, it's really important. It has to be a great experience, because you're going to be the first person that they're going to work with for that has authority in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, they have a boss. At home, they got their parents, they got their teachers in school, and now it's their first job. I couldn't say enough times to my staff and to my managers, it has to be a good experience, because I want them to leave, when they leave out of here, I want them to remember their first job. They enjoyed it because it's going to give them passion to keep on going, to be more productive, to be a better person. What I teach my staff, often the young people that I hire that never worked, first thing I tell them, I go, work ethics, really important. Really, really important. The respect of the environment, be responsible on time, don't be late, and do the best you can. When you can, you could talk to me, you could ask me all the questions you want. My job is there to make sure you enjoy doing what you're doing, and I'll give you the tools, show you how to use the tools to get even better. So for me, it is really important. If you want to mentor people, you got to first to make sure that they get the passion of what they're doing, you have to give them a secure and respectful environment to work, which is, I'm very, very strict with that. I want to be, I'm someone that tries to live as much as possible when I say clean life, a life structured with, with rules. And when I say it, again, there's not in a bad way. And when my staff works for me, I want them to be in a healthy, great environment. For me, first of all, that's really important. And then try to give them the ethic of be a hard worker, because I always said, and I even say it to my kids, you could be the smartest kid, you could have all the highest notes, but if you don't have the work ethic, you don't have that drive, you won't succeed to the level you want to succeed. So that's what I try to give them, because when they leave, and what I love about doing this is that I do see staff that I hired years ago. They're in the mid-30s today. They come and see me with their girlfriends. Some of them got married. Some of them had kids. And it all comes down to one thing, which is I love hearing that. They loved working with me. The time they work with me, I try to do the best that I can as a boss. But it really touches me to the point sometimes they tell me, you're the best boss I ever had.
Yeah.
And that really like, oh, okay, maybe it's too much. But I think when they tell me that, I go, okay, I'm doing my job.
Right.
Doing my job. I'm not the easiest guy to work with, because
No.
I'm very structured, but I'm very respectful. And I want them to enjoy themselves, to have fun while they're working. And when they leave, I want them to say, thank you. I enjoyed it, because that's how I had my work ethic. I worked for this Portuguese family in the grocery store at the age of 12. I started working at the age of 12, and they took me in like I was family. And it was an incredible, incredible experience for me. I worked for them from 12 to 18, 6 years.
Wow.
And that's the other thing that I try to teach people about being loyal, which is today we live in a crazy world. That's what I try to teach my kids as well, is to be loyal.
It's okay.
To be loyal and to, at every single level, with your family, with your friends,
Yes,
with your colleagues at work. And it doesn't mean you gotta accept things.
Yeah.
By being loyal is that if you can I say this? If you engage in something, do it.
Yeah.
And I was taught from a very young age. My dad used to tell me, in life you're gonna do things not always what you like, but regardless what you do, if you're being paid for it, do a great job. Because you gotta have that respect. You're getting paid to do something, and if you don't like it, it's fine as well. Do it in an elegant way, respectful way, to say this is where it's going to stop. And that's what I try to give my staff, telling them, life is not always going to be perfect, but if you walk a straight line, and walk with your head up, doors are always going to open everywhere.
But you want to bring like good people into the world, and
Exactly.
you feel it sounds to me like you feel like a little bit responsible to make sure that, when they leave here, they'll bring that part of them that was so great here with them and continue forward, and that we should all be paying it forward and, helping each other and what's the word I want to use? Like influencing each other in a good way.
Exactly. Well,
right?
By the way, that's everybody's job as an adult, my job, and everybody out there who have businesses or teachers.
Exactly.
Perfect example. A teacher, it is a big job, because he's the first interacting with a child and teaching them how to read and teaching them how to be, eventually how to be rational. My job as a boss.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But it's to give them, like, these are how things work.
Yeah.
And hopefully, they turn out to be, because that's the next generation.
Yeah.
You got to handle to them and make sure that they enjoy what they're doing, and we try to handle things the best that we can.
Yeah.
And the rest, if someone has those morals of ethic, working, and being compassionate as well, I'm someone that believes a lot in compassion, to be fair, to be generous. For me, it's really important to be generous. And if you're able to give them that, 99.9% of the time, they turn out to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because they see they're going to be surrounded. They see it. My staff sees it sometimes. I have some people that come around on the street that which is I help and I give them food.
Yeah.
And some of them, they come and I take care of them with money. We don't have to talk. I get it. I see them. I do it.
Yeah.
And because I always tell to myself, which is I've learned that as well with my family, my mom and my dad, especially with my mom. She goes, "We're not immune to anything. Whatever you see, it could happen to you easily. We don't know what could happen. It's not about money. A lot of it has to do with mental illness, and it's unfortunately you could have all the money you have, but if you're not well here, so I see it a lot, and I'm very much aware of it. It's my biggest fear for the people that I love, and that's why you need to have compassion. You got to show people around you by doing these gestures. You're showing people this is what you should be doing.
Right.
This is how you have to act. Instead of the worst thing to do is not acknowledging, or I see it often. You walk by people who are suffering, and people just walk by. I can't do that because for me, it's just we're human, and someone is in need. It doesn't take much. I do it often. My kids, they see it, and my staff sees it. Just go up to someone, is everything okay? Or you're okay? You know?
Yeah.
And if they tell yes, and if they say no, then that's when you can assist. It's important to have, so I try to teach that to the people that surround me every day.
Right.
To have that the compassion, to understand that,
Yeah.
not everybody's having it easy.
Yeah.
And we've seen it during COVID. And I'm one of the living proof. I'm in the best neighborhood here in Friend EG. What they've done for my business, the love that they showed us
Oh.
was beyond.
Oh.
So that's one of the reasons why we're still in business today. We're not going to kid ourselves.
Right.
We all pulled in it together. We worked very hard. Everybody, unfortunately, some people lost their businesses. It's really sad, and loved ones. And I've lost one of my business during COVID, and I lost a loved one as well. My brother passed away. But at the end of the day, like again, we come back to family and the neighborhood, the clients, the love that they had for us, the support. And that's what I'm saying is that it comes down to that. I still remember I had this lady that came in with a mask, and it was really like there was no one in the city, no one going out. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the end for me. There's not much I could do because even though I could be the happiest guy, no one is walking in the door like that.
Exactly.
And this lady came out there. She goes, if you mind, we're going to start pre-selling certificates or pre-selling pizzas to help the local businesses. And they're not asking any money from me. Now you're gonna freak out what I'm gonna tell you. I said, okay, how does this work? She goes, we'll take care of the printing. We'll do that. We just want to help the local businesses. You're okay with that? I go, of course. I mean, anything right now, at this moment, is going to help us. And 2 weeks go by. She shows up. I was all glassed up with my mask. You couldn't come in. She goes, do you have a minute for me? I go, sure. She goes, well, I have an envelope for you. I go, oh, okay. She goes, it went very well, and we have some money for you because people prepaid pizzas.
Wow.
And I still remember my reaction was when I opened up the envelope. She goes, "You could open it now," because I said, "Do I do it in front of you?" She goes, "Yeah." And I opened up the envelope, and there was a check of $8,000.
I'm gonna cry.
No, you have no idea.
I'm crying.
Yeah, it was a check of $8,000,
Oh my God.
and I'm like, $8,000. She goes, "Yeah."
Oh my God.
People. So the neighborhood,
That's right.
everybody put money, so I could have money to sustain.
Yeah.
And that, for me, was an incredible moment. And at the same time, it was a very, very I started crying.
Yeah.
And my mask
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
was just too much. But again, what's wonderful about that is that shows you, as humans, we're very special and we're great and we're amazing. And the worst moments, that's when you see people coming together.
Yeah.
This is what's amazing. And they did it twice for me.
Wow. Oh my
They
God.
did another round. She goes, "You want to do this again?" I go,
For
"Of
sure."
course." And I could tell you that she came back with another check of $4,000. I mean, it's like, and 80% of these people didn't use they didn't want it. So they'd
Yeah.
come, I had their names,
Yeah.
and I was sorry, I got your pizza today. She goes, "No, I'm paying for it." She goes, we're gonna use it eventually when you're gonna not need it.
Okay, good.
And I still got the list,
Wow,
but people don't take it.
no,
So it shows you that the core of being human, we're good. We're good. We have to spread more love. We have to show more compassion. And we got to reassure people around us that we'll be fine. Regardless what happens, we'll be fine.
well, you just answered one of my last questions. It's always like, what do you want to leave people thinking about? Like and you just answered the question. It's being kind and, Paolo, you're a family man, you're a neighborhood man, you're a businessman, you're like an amazing human being,
Oh, well, thank you.
And
And you as well,
you're
by the
a
way. That's
leader.
why I love you and that's how
Oh, I
I
love
connected
you
with you
too.
because your energy is incredible. That's how I connected with you, but I just want you to know that.
Okay,
Your kindness. I'm someone that connects with people, not that easy as well.
yeah,
We have to have the similar energy and
Yeah.
kindness. And when I've seen you the first time, all what I've seen in your eyes was kindness. And you are so kind, you're wonderful. And
I'll take it.
and then again, you're one of those people that I'm privileged to say, I've met her.
Yeah.
I know her.
Oh, that's nice. And I feel the same.
Thank you, Sue.
And so that's always what I like to know is at the end, what is it that you want to leave with people? So, and you do leave that with people. And I think that now I'm so excited to share this interview because now more people are going to get to know another side of you. So when they come, if they haven't come to have pizza here yet, they're going to come and they're going to want to know who
Course,
Paolo is. And now when they come to have pizza, it's going to be even more delicious,
I hope.
It will.
So
It's delicious.
It's exactly what you just said. It's what you want to leave behind.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's one of my mom's, she always told me, she goes, it's not about how many cars you have or how much money you want people to remind you the impact that you had in their lives. And it goes from generation to generation. And I see these kids that work for me, they're grown to be, they're becoming parents. I hope that I was able to install just a little seed of, here, use this, and it's going to grow and try to pass it on. At the end of the day, Jaime is one of them. I'm the perfect example of Jaime. This gentleman was here, he had an incredible life. I'm sure I'm not the only one that he touched. I'm one of them, and he touched thousands of people. I'm using what he's done. I've told certain things of Jaime, and I put it into the way I live and the way I want to treat people and the way I want people to feel. So Jaime, you did a great job.
Wow. Wow. A blessing. A legacy for Jaime.
Of course.
Wait till everybody hears this. And then, so one last thing. Yeah. We have a couple more minutes. One last thing is I want to ask you, you've been doing this for 35 years, you said. Now you've made it through all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll from the early days. I'm sure we can talk about that another time.
But by the way, I haven't been drinking for 34 years. I'm sober, so.
Yay. But I mean, just the environment.
Of course, yeah.
Of
course. No, yeah.
And also, and you made it through the pandemic.
Exactly.
And now you're here. And so, yes, you work every day to make the world a better place. Is there anything inside of you that you want to work on now, moving forward, that you see yourself trying to put some energy into for you, working on yourself a little bit? Is there anything special that comes up when I ask that
It's funny
question?
you're saying that. I am working on myself right now because, there's nothing wrong about having moments in life. I've been through a few moments in my life, and as a person, you grow, and then you wonder, okay, is this really what I want for the next 20 years of my life?
Right.
I'm working on that. It's not always easy because it pushes you, it confronts yourself with things that you don't like about yourself, and you gotta instead of constantly push it aside, you gotta face it. I'm at that point in my life, and it's great because again, I'm alive, happy, I'm healthy. I'm not perfect. Absolutely not. I got my challenges. I got my demons, like everybody.
Is there one that you want to share with us?
Demons?
Yeah. Is there one thing?
Oh,
you don't have to.
No, well, sharing.
It's so personal. But if you want to share one thing that you feel like you really want to, that you're having a hard time looking at yourself with, and you want to be able to do something about it.
So right now, what I'm working on is that there's a few decisions that I've taken in my past. Because I'm an entrepreneur, it's like going to the table at the casino, I'm all in. Kind of reflecting on those decisions that I took, it's having an impact on me today. So it's not easy. I'm turning 60 as well.
60?
Yeah, as well.
You're kidding.
So,
I thought you were for 35.
oh, you're kidding. Stop. You're so sweet.
Okay, 40.
So thank you so much. I'll take it. So I'm reflecting on those decisions that I took and how did I get there to take the decisions, knowing the impact that I'm going through today. It's a challenge. I'm like figuring out, okay, what's going to be the next 10 years of my life as a professional, as a family man, as a father, as a husband. So I'm working on that because you need to keep on growing and growing in a good way. Because if not, we're going to keep on taking bad decisions. And God knows I've took a few in my life, but decisions that I've taken in my life was always important to me. And I'm the one that's dealing with the impact today. I always made sure that the people that I love weren't affected by my decisions. I could see how today my family could be affected by it, but I'm an entrepreneur, and that's what it is. We're risk takers. That's what we do.
Yes.
We go in and we believe so much in the dream, and we just do it. So, of course, today, I'm talking to someone who's helping me, which is great, by the way, and it's all good. And it's making me realize as well that this is not everything, by the way. I was never a material guy, by the way. So this is not my life. And I'm beginning to realize there's other great things coming and how we're going to get there. That's where I'm at. And work on yourself. And I always tell people, and it's okay, you have doubts in your life, you have moments that you have doubts. Just take a few steps back, put your ego away, because your ego is going to tell you, no, dude, it's all good. You're the champ. And it's not true. Your ego is going to play with you. And, you got to say, well, this is where I screwed up. This is where I went wrong. Now, first of all, how do I try to fix the decisions I take as the best I can? But mostly important is that, how do I teach my kids now? Because that's my job now. I won't. That's easy.
That's okay. Don't worry. Keep going. Good.
My job is now to teach my kids the importance of taking the right decision. There's a time to play and to have fun. There's a time to be serious. And that's right now one of my biggest, when I say stressful way, but I really want them to get that. It's so important because, and I've been telling this to my daughter who just turned 17. She's going to Egypt as of next month. I said, from now on, everything counts. The last few years, high school, elementary, traveling, it's all good. Great. 17, you're going to turn 18 in less than 8 months. Everything counts, good or bad. And this is not negative. What I'm telling you, whatever you do good now, you might not see it now, but it's going to have an impact in the future for you. Whatever bad decision you take now, you might not see it now, but it definitely is going to put some sticks on your wheels in the future. My job as a parent and as a coach, because I've been through a lot, and I told my kids, you're so blessed to have me as a coach because I know what it is. I've been in the ring. I've took beatings. Now I'm going to tell you when to swing and not when to not swing. So yes, I'm at that point now in my life. I think it's normal. You get to a certain age, start reflecting. And the other thing that I've been reflecting a lot is that, and it's very positive again, and when I say this, people like talk to my wife about it, is that you realize you got less time in this earth you have left than what you had. Now, and again, they're not about the time, it's about the quality time that you spend while you're there. And these are things that I'm trying to change right now because I don't know about the future, but I know that I'm turning 60. I'm no longer 20. When I was 20, I got this. It's all good. I got some time ahead of me. Still got some great years to come. Just want to make sure they're well lived, exactly. Well lived and like fully lived and have an impact on people that I love to make sure get it. I try to do the best I can. I'm coaching you the best that I can. I'm going to give you the best tools and know how to work with those tools so you could eventually live your life in a different way that I had mine. Of course, I don't want my kids to do my industry.
Right.
I definitely don't.
Right. Okay, Paulo. Wow.
Wow.
Give me another couple snaps. All
I'm going to tell you a
right.
short story about my snap. Could I?
Yes.
So when I had Eccentrus, again, that I was partnered with Daniel Lago, for me it was a really privilege, and I've met the most incredible people in the planet. Really, I was blessed. There's this 31-year-old kid, and I'm meeting all the biggest brains and movers and shakers in the planet. When I say in the planet, but
Wow.
I met like, and again there, and they're all incredible people. So I've met from Walt Disney's nephew to the Dell brothers, to you name it, I've met them. And my partner used to do special events, and he'd always make me sign a non-disclosure release because you're not allowed to talk about it. Because he would do a lot of fundraising to help certain art. He was very much into art and culture.
Okay.
So I sat down with him. He goes, "This is what I want to do in September. This is what I'm planning to do, and I'm going to do this fundraising. And I'm flying in a good friend of mine, and he's going to be here as a special guest for that night, David Bowie." And I'm like,
Oh,
and I met, like, he flew in U2 twice.
oh
I met them all. Radiohead, Al Pacino. I could go on and on and on. But I was, I was impressed.
Mm.
But again, there I'm someone like everybody else. But David Bowie, I like, okay, and I had to control myself. So I met David Bowie and I spent 2 days with him. And it was an incredible experience. And why it became such an incredible experience. So the gentleman that we were doing the fundraising for was Edouard Locke from La 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 Human Steps. He's a very good friend as well of David Bowie, as well as my ex-partner, Daniel Lago, was very good friends of David.
Mm-hmm.
So Edouard comes up to me and goes, "I want you to go to David and show him your snap." And I go, "Stop. I'm going to do that in Paris." It's David Bowie. What does he care about my snap? I'm telling you, I want him to hear your snap. So he takes me to David. He goes, and he calls him, goes, "David." He goes, "Oh, David." He goes, "Yeah, hey, Paolo. Yeah, what's up?" And he goes, "Okay, Paolo, show him your snap." I go, "This has to be good." So I snap. And his reaction was, "Oh my God." He goes, "We have to do something with that snap."
Yes.
Honestly, I was like, I didn't sleep for 3 days. I had David Bowie telling me we had to do something with my snap. And that was probably one of my highlights of my life in this industry.
Oh my God.
I just walked away and I was numb for 3 days. Like my
Oh my
snap.
God. Did you ever do anything with your snap?
Well, no, unfortunately,
No.
that didn't happen. But just the fact that I had one of the greatest of all time
Exactly.
artists
Yes.
at every single level,
Yes.
acknowledging that I had a great snap, I'm like, wow.
Wow.
So that was
Don't
my.
forget, when you come to Melrose Pizza at NDG in Montreal, you gotta ask Paolo for his snap.
Well, I have a
you're gonna-
neon with my snap
Yes,
on.
you do.
So,
You do.
so I'll do it one more time.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to us. It was a pleasure to be here
Oh,
this
it was
morning
so
with you.
great.
Really
Thank
wonderful.
you so much.
And I
Thank
hope
you.
this brings some positive
It will.
and enlightenment to certain
It
people.
will. It will. Thank you,
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us on People, Their Passion and Purpose. Have an amazing day and be kind.
Exactly. Kindness wins.
There you go.